Well, good morning and welcome to the First Church of Religious Science of Vallejo.
Good
We're so
morning.
happy to be open again, having people in our sanctuary and also viewing us on Zoom and Facebook Live. So this is just wonderful that we can come together, especially in person here in this place. Let's have a few announcements. Looking ahead, Sunday, December 19th will be our Christmas service, followed by a catered lunch in the family room, our first after-service lunch in 20 months. Yes, and that Sunday service will also include the candle lighting program. There'll be no standalone evening service this year. Since that Sunday's lunch will be catered, we'll need a head count of the number of people who will be eating. So please sign up with Joanne. Joanne, could you please raise your hand? Yes, we all know Joanne anyway, but sign up with her so that we'll get a good count for the restaurant who's catering it. Please check the dots on the badges, your name tags. A red dot means no hugs, please. And a green dot means I'm up for hugs. So check that before violating anyone's space, please. And due to COVID rules, we are not passing collection plates. So please place your donations in that orange basket at the rear of the sanctuary. And thank you all in advance for your gifts. And now we'll go into our opening song, which is Woke Up This Morning. And Clark has the lyrics up on the board there. So feel free to stand if you wish. No requirement if you don't feel like it.
Kind of like the basketball, stand or kneel or whatever.
Yes.
Take a knee.
Yeah, stand, kneel, take a knee, whatever. Okay.
Sorry.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. On spirit, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Yes, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. You all are in perfect voice this morning. So good to hear that. So, time for an invocation. So, you can all become still, turn within, and we recognize and know that there is but one power and presence in the universe. All the life, all the love, all the power, all the peace, all the plenty that there is God expressing throughout this cosmos and within each person, place, or thing created. And creation is an ongoing thing. We are all one in that, one of it, one with it. I'm so grateful for this understanding, for this truth. As Dr. Holmes said, its simplicity eludes us, but it is so deep. All the masters of the ages taught this. There is one. So I bless each of you who are here, whether in this sanctuary or viewing this service online. I bless everything and everyone in this world, in this universe, knowing that it is an expression of that holy one, which we call God or Spirit. It makes no difference what name we refer to the infinite. God knows. God knows what it is. We think we understand what it is. We're coming to understand more. So I bless this service as it unfolds. I bless each one of you. And simply accept the peace and the love and the power that truly is in this place and every place. Namaste. So it is.
So it is.
So now we'll have a brief meditation period of 3 minutes. Alex says she likes to shake
Shake it
herself
up.
around to do it. And that's her method. Everyone has their own. So if you prefer being still and settling into it, that's fine. If you prefer a little activity to relax into, that's fine. Whatever works for you. So I will hit the chime and we'll have 3 minutes of silent meditation and contemplation. All right, how was that? Nice and relaxing,
Very
fulfilling.
relaxing.
Nice time to recharge our inner batteries, I call it. All right, we're going to have our next song, congregational number, brand new song called Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see. We should applaud you. Even the stars on that.
Question. Those who are in the congregation, that particular key that we're doing it in, because we can change the key. Is someone find it too high or too on your vocal?
Range.
It's okay. We're kind of fiddling around.
Want it a little higher than that, or
We don't want it too high or too low,
Right.
so that it's good for everybody.
so whatever you go with.
Everyone
we're good
seems
with.
okay.
All right.
Sorry for interrupting.
So, my great pleasure to introduce our spiritual director, Reverend Jerry Fetterly, speaking on seeing beauty, feeling grace. I was almost mixed up because there's a Scott Joplin tune called Grace and Beauty, and it was just switched. So, Reverend Jerry.
I'm right behind you. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great. Wow. It's so nice to see people in church. And I know I welcome people wherever you are joining us online. We're grateful for your presence. And today, the talk is seeing beauty, feeling grace. Take that in. When you're seeing beauty well up inside of you, the grace of the divine, that is the gift of God. So our theme for the month is breathe in the view, and it's about being on the mountaintop. And if you think of it, I've talked often about all paths lead to God. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome you are wherever you are in your path. And what I always picture is God is at the mountaintop. And each one of us have different paths that take us to the top. And believe it or not, one path is not any better than the other. I know you feel invested in yours. I feel invested in mine, but all paths lead to God. There is no separation. There is beauty and there is grace in all of that. So we've just really taken a moment. You know, some of us have been coming out of this 20-some months of semi-isolation, if you will. It's different degrees by different people. But I'm going to ask you to, again, to take another pause, a pause today where you just kind of settle into the message about seeing beauty all around you, seeing beauty in life. And it's remembering that where we are in our journey today, we give great thanks for it. For it's in gratitude that allows us to open up to the infinite gifts that the universe is just willing to shower on us, as long as we're receptive and we're willing and we open up ourselves. So for those of you who have seen Beauty and the Beast, it's an animated cartoon, but I love it, Beauty and the Beast. And in there, there's a heroine called Belle, who is the love of the whole village, right? And wherever she goes, well, she's captured by the beast who lives in a castle. And when she first sees him, she sees the beast. But what she comes to do is love the beast and sees the beauty in him. So that's basically the message today, is when you're looking around at your life, you have a choice. You have a choice to see the beast or the beauty. You're just like Belle in the movie. Your life is a movie. You're the director. You're the script writer. You're the prop manager. You even select the actors. All these people in this room right here, right now, all these people watching us on the internet, they are all people you have selected to be in your movie of your life. And what I like about it is when Belle saw the love and the gentleness in the beast, and she opened up her heart, she was seeing with the eyes of the heart. And that's another message I'd like you to take away today, is when we get out of our heads and into our heart, we see with the eyes of the heart. Can you just imagine that? How it looks different when you open up your heart, undefended, and just let the love pour out. And what happens is it's a receptacle for the love to come back in. And what I know about seeing beauty and things around us, it appears in the most unusual manner. So yesterday, I was taking the trash out to the dumpster. And it's a walk along a path, and there's some bushes and some trees and things like that. It's a pretty mundane task, right? Taking trash to the dumpster. But on the way back, this butterfly, a monarch butterfly, flew on and landed on the branch right like here in front of me, and like flapping its wings and saying, "Look at me, how beautiful I am." And I could only respond, "Yes, you are." So how would that be if you could take that same experience to all the people that you meet in life? How would that be if you saw how beautiful everybody was? So the question today is, where do you see beauty and where do you feel grace? And so, of course, I had to go to look up Webster's dictionary. It's so much easier today online than it was to get a book out of a bookshelf. So beauty is defined as those qualities in a person or a thing that give pleasure to the senses. Isn't that true? Gives pleasure to the senses. And grace is that simple elegance or refinement of movement. And that's how I think about that. When I talk and pray for people for the ease and the grace, what I am knowing is that there is that ease and movement, that simple thing that just manifests. It's so easy. It's almost like you're totally unaware, but you remember to give thanks for it and the gratitude that comes. So many of you know that I read the Science of Mind daily guides in the Science of Mind magazine that comes out every month. And it's part of my spiritual practice to be aware of it. And most of the readings are along the subjects that themes that we talk about during the month. So if you read them, you can kind of get a gist of what many of our ministers are going to say on Sunday. And in this particular guide on Friday, Reverend Petrus Weldes, who is the co-director, spiritual director in Dallas, has been a minister for like 30 years and has written these beautiful guides for many, many years. She wrote about the fact about having a breathing space and taking a breathing space in our life, which really some of us, when we're getting back in the swing of things, it's kind of like we have so many things we want to do. And it becomes like, I don't know, I had a hamster when I was a kid. And I'd watch it mesmerized, run around on a wheel. Sometimes our minds are like that. Sometimes our lives are like that. So what we want to do is take a moment, take a breathing space. So in this particular article that reminded me of it is she related a story about Mother Teresa. And she said, Mother Teresa once was asked by a reporter, how can you always greet everybody with a smile? And she says, what I do is whenever I'm alone, I take a breath in, I breathe, and then I smile so that then the next person I meet, they see a smile. And she related that to Thich Nhat Hanh, who has a breathing meditation. And I wanted to share the breathing meditation with you because sometimes when life is not dealing you the cards that you want, take a breath. Take a breath because the next hand will be different based on your consciousness. And so she said in there that Thich Nhat Hanh said that what his meditation on breathing is, he'd take the first breath in, he'd breathe it in, and then the next breath in, he'd breathe it in with his heart. And then the next breath in, he would breathe it with a smile. And then he just goes on with each breath, he remembers to smile. And I remind us that we can practice this anytime, especially if you're wearing a mask. Who's going to be able to tell if you're smiling? So you can smile like a little, you do whatever you want to do. It's all right. But if you have a chance and it's safe, you take off your mask so people can see your beautiful smile. So she also wrote in one of the guides about how does she take a moment away from the busyness of life. And when it gets to be really busy, she does that by taking a walk along the water or in nature, or maybe sitting by the water. And I really resonated with that because when I lived in San Diego, that's what I would do. When everything's really kind of like powered on, I know that you think ministers never have drama in their life, but yeah, they do. We're just like everyone else, really. We're all just running our paths up the mountain. So I would go and walk down by the bay in San Diego. And when I did, I would get mesmerized by the water. I would get mesmerized by what was going on out there and in the bay. I watched ships, I watched birds, I watched different things. And so on Friday, I was here and I decided to go down to the ferry terminal for lunch. And as I was walking down, I had already parked the car and I was walking towards the restaurant. And the ferry was just pulling out of the terminal. And what I found myself doing is just watching. There's a beauty in a big boat like that, pulling out into the channel, backing up, and feeling safe to do so, and then going forward in the channel And I realized after it left that I had stopped thinking about anything. I was just mesmerized by that. And so those are the invitations that when life gets to be a little overwhelming, go to nature, go to the water. You have these beautiful waters all around you in Vallejo, and go and just allow yourself to just be transported into that higher consciousness, that you're one with this divine. It is one of beauty and grace. And I realized that how much that boat, that ferry, is like our life, right? The way it's like our life is we are in a safe harbor right now. But that ferry, to go to the next leg of its journey, had to pull out of the safe harbor into the channel and then go on its way. Now, no one knows for sure that that ferry is going to reach its destination easily, effortlessly, or whatever. It's a risk the pilot takes. That is what we have to do with our life. We have to take a risk. We can't stay inbred. We can't just stay inside. We have to really live our life, experience the beauty and the joy of living. And we do that by moving out of that safe harbor. And when we do that, we look around us, we look at life. And I encourage you to do that through the eyes of the heart. You've got eyes here, and you can listen with a heart. So I have 3 talking points today. I tend to do that. It's my organizational background. And so the first one I wanted to share with you is heaven is within every one of us. And that is soul. Your soul is that inner beauty that awakens us daily to who we are and our magnificence. But that heaven only exists if you choose it to be, because God gave us free will. And you always have the choice to see and acknowledge the wisdom within you. It is your choice. It is just like Belle seeing the beauty or the beast. She was always at choice. And we can make that decision to look that way. And Michael Singer, one of my favorite authors, and some of you have read The Untethered Soul, he wrote, when you walk through a beautiful botanical garden, you feel open and light. You feel love. You see beauty. You don't judge the shape and placement of every leaf. And when I read that quote, I was transported back into my first year of ministry was at CSL in Seattle. And some of you know that 2/3 of the days in Seattle are rainy. That's why that city is so beautiful and clean. They have a lot of rain. God washes it almost daily. But what I did in my first year, because I had a few challenges like many first-year ministers have, and what I chose to do is walk in the arboretum that was between my apartment and the university, and I would walk it in the sunshine, and I would walk it in the rain. I went and bought waterproof and insulated boots and a rain jacket, but I walked in the rain, and there's beauty in the rain. There's beauty and grace in the raindrops that fall. Think about how that nourishes the earth and nourishes us. That is a gift from God. So when we remember that, it just opens up our hearts. And my second point is we have a collective consciousness awakening that provides us this blessing of seeing something old with a new perspective. And what that new is can be wonderful. It's that collective consciousness. So it's all of us are one with the divine, but all of us collectively create something larger than we are, and know how powerful you are, and you're part of all of that. Dennis Merritt Jones, and another one of my favorite authors, and I've taught a few of his classes here, he wrote in How to Speak Science of Mind. Wouldn't some of us like to know that? So he wrote, grace is the givingness of spirit to its creation, the logical result of the correct acceptance of life and a correct relationship to spirit. So sometimes to arrive at this state of consciousness, we have to turn off the news. We might even have to turn off the TV. And for some of us, we have to turn off the chatter of our friends. All of that is disrupting the beauty and the grace of living. So it's an invitation when sometimes, if you recognize that most of the news channels now call themselves a program, and they have a storyline, and they really go for it, you understand that it's scripted. It's scripted to elicit certain responses. So it's your choice. You have a freedom of choice. Tune in or tune out. And you can always make that choice for more beauty. So Petra also asked a tough question in today's daily guide, which I liked. And for those of you who know it, it says, know who you are. How many of you can answer that question? Know who you are. She says, do you truly embrace and embody the idea that you are an individualized expression of the one infinite life, or is it just something you like to believe? Do you believe it, or something you like to believe? How can you tell? She says that the clue is this: if you're still speaking poorly to yourself, if you're still making excuses, or if you're downplaying responsibility, it's all still just an idea. You haven't embraced it. And I'd really like that message to really be conveyed today, that you remember that you are an individualized expression of the Creator, an aspect of the divine. And then I'm going to encourage you, if you can embrace that, I'm going to ask you to think, can you believe that everyone, without exception, is an expression of the divine? So the little test, if you want to play with me, is look around right now. Can you see beauty in everyone you see? Can you feel the grace that binds us together, that calls us forth to be in this very space? I know those are the tough questions because sometimes we make judgments. And what I like about Thanksgiving, it's a Thanksgiving gatherings. They're usually gatherings of families. And when they do is you get this collection of people. And of course, many of us, we get to test out this philosophy, this belief that the infinite expression of God is in everyone. When we look at our favorite aunt, we know she's a saint because everybody says she's a saint. But what about Grumpy Henry in the corner? Uncle Henry crumbles about everything. Can you see the saint in him? Can you see the beauty in him? Because he too is one with the infinite. He too has grace. He too has that beauty within him. And my third point is, how conscious are you of the grace and beauty that elevates our lives into that unity of that all springs forth each and every day? So how about if you approach this day as a brand new baby day? A brand new baby day that you get to, you know how you are with a brand new baby? You think it's beautiful. You don't see any blemishes. You think it's beautiful and you want to help it go to the next thing. How about if you embraced your day that way? How about if you embraced your day as a baby brand new day and you helped move it upward to this beautiful expression of the divine? Eric Buttersworth, who's a Unity minister, actually passed on a few years ago. He said, the word grace means favor. Why are you favored as a child of God? simply because you are the activity of God expressing itself as you. And I have a little reminder that some of you who look at my Facebook pages, you'll know that I post various sayings. And one of the ones I posted yesterday was from a saying from Dr. Michelle Madrano out of Denver, Mile High Church. Because what she wrote is, and I picked it from 2 years ago, so I knew God wanted me to bring it up because why else would Facebook show it to me again? She wrote, gratitude is the message, the language of love of God. Can you imagine that? Gratitude is the language of love of God. She wrote, God has not done anything to me or for me. It can only do for me what it can do through me. Though it is always with me, in me, as me, I am free to do the inner work to transform, transmute, and walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Do you get that message? I'm going to repeat it in a minute. But what it says is, it's you. God is within you. You get to co-create your universe. You get to co-create your experience. Nothing happens if it doesn't happen through you with God. You have that powerful responsibility, but pleasure and gift to let God express itself through you. So what she said is, God has not done anything to me or for me. It can only do for me what it can do through me. Though it is always with me, in me, as me, I am free to do the inner work, to transform, transmute, and walk through the valley of the shadow of death. So I welcome you to take those in and remind yourselves how important it is that you don't downplay your own significance, that you remember how powerful you are. You are the expression of the divine. So let me close off by saying, without even the smallest step we took or the tiniest choice we make on the path, we could not be where we are today. Today, we see the beauty and we feel the grace. Namaste. Thank you. So let's pray. Just take that breath in. And just like Thich Nhat Hanh, take that breath in, breathing in to the heart, breathing in with love. Breathe in with a smile on your heart, on your lips, in your consciousness. A smile that recognizes the beauty and the grace of God in your life. So I give great thanks for everyone here, for all of the people within the sound of my voice, knowing we are all on this journey of experiencing the freedom of exploring our own individual paths of beauty, and we know we go with the grace of God. So I know and give great thanks for everybody that's made this service possible, for our house band, for Reverend Ed, for Clark, who is doing all of the wonderful technical things that we make this possible. We give great thanks for all the volunteers. We give great thanks for the people who are showing up here today. We give great thanks for all the contributions that keep our church alive. We give great thanks for all. I know that gratitude is the language of love of God. I give great thanks for everyone. I give great thanks for this day. I know it is perfect in whatever way you see it to be in your life today. And I just release it, I let it be, knowing that it's already the truth. And so it is. So there's an affirmation which may be on the screen. And I know how to move. So why don't you say the affirmation with me? I appreciate the beauty and the grace that dwell within all creation. Say one more time. I appreciate the beauty and the grace that dwell within all creation. Thank you.
All right. Well, our special song or musical offering for today is What If? And that was written by Karen Taylor Good, and it's used by permission. What if everything that makes us sad turns out not to be so bad? And everything that seems so wrong is what we needed all along. And what if we don't have a clue? What if we just not meant to? What if everything in life's a gift? What if? Life's a question, a tale untold. We find all the answers as it unfolds. I have learned through trials and tears that faith is my freedom, and it's stronger than fear. And what I've been afraid of, maybe that's the stuff things are made of. There's more to the picture than you can see. We're part of a tapestry. It's a beautiful story. What if everything that makes us sad turns out not to be so bad? Everything that seems so wrong is what we needed all along. And what if we don't have a clue? What if we're just not meant to? What if everything in life's a gift? What if?
So now is our time for prosperity affirmation giving. So if you have a gift to give today, please take it out. And for this is for the people here, and at home we'll give you the address that if you'd like to mail in your contribution later, you can. But take the gift, any gift you have today, and hold it over your hearts, and recite these affirmation with me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It gives forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. Is it evidence of my conviction that God is the source and the substance of my supply? I release my gift, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it does. And then for those of you watching on the internet, please go to our webpage or First Church, or do online giving, PayPal through your bank, or send a check to First Church of Religious Science, 229 Springs Road, Vallejo, California. And for those of you in the sanctuary, please just drop your gift in the red bowl there by the hat. Check as you exit. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to have our peace song now. So if you'd like to stand, whether in the sanctuary or at home, if you feel moved, please feel free to sing along. Clark has the lyrics to the song up there posted for you. Okay. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, loved ones all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
So let me just offer a benediction before we leave. And that is, just take a moment and look around and see the beauty of all the people that you have asked to be on this journey with you.
It's beautiful.
And know that we all go by the grace of God. So I bless each and every one. I know that this baby day is just ready to shine and laugh and bring you joy. And we open up our hearts to welcome it in. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, I feel better, so much better. Since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, feel like shouting, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, every wind goes higher and higher. Since I laid my burden down, one more time. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, I feel better, so much better. Since I laid my burden down. Hallelujah.
And so it is.